What's up, everyone? As you can see, the title, we are talking on Street Topics about the assassination attempt on Trump. But before we dive in it, I'm going to showcase a video of a YouTube video kind of going over the details. So y'all watch out for this.
Make sure we take back the White House.
Two Secret Service sniper teams could be seen on rooftops behind former President Donald Trump less than 2 minutes before gunfire erupted at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday. They appear to be getting into position facing the direction of the gunman who authorities say fired the shots that grazed former President Trump.
Look what happened.
Trump said a bullet struck him in the ear. Here's how the attack unfolded. President Trump was speaking from a stage located here. The suspected gunman was on the roof of another building less than 450 feet away from where Trump was speaking, with a clear line of sight. 1 minute and 32 seconds before shots are heard, we can see two Secret Service sniper teams moving into place on the roofs behind the former president. One on the south roof and one on the north roof, facing the direction of the shooter. It's unclear if they were repositioning or setting up for the first time.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country.
Moments before the shooting, we can hear nearby spectators saying they see someone with a gun.
He's going down!
While Trump speaks, the Secret Service snipers are still facing the gunman's direction. We then see an agent on the north roof pick his head up just before shots ring out at 6:15. Secret Service agents rush to pull Trump to the ground. As they rush him off the stage, blood can be seen on the bleachers behind where Trump was speaking. A spectator was killed and two more were critically injured at the event, the Secret Service said. The suspected gunman, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, was shot and killed, according to the FBI.
All right. All that craziness and much more, and you can saw the whole blueprint of everything. But let's go ahead and get this show started. It's your host, Chris Holmes, as always, another episode of Street Topics. And yes, we are talking about the assassination attempt on Trump and the catastrophe that happened on that day. But let me go ahead and introduce my guests as well. We have the one, the only Just Sim.
What's going on, people? What's going on? I am the ASSIEM, Just Sim from In the Trenches podcast. And it's wonderful to be here. And of course, I got my road dog that's gonna raise much hell. We may not agree with everything, but we got love for each other. The one and only Dr. Baker.
Man, peace and blessings.
You sound like you're in California.
California.
Blessing, man. Come on now.
Oh no, don't get him started, because once you get him started about California, folks,
You know I don't like California.
I don't either. That's what we agree upon.
So, fellas.
Too many Negroes and Mexicans.
Oh my God. So, fellas, after seeing the video clip, what happened? Like, what wrong with the security? Like, we got all different kind of thoughts, and now we have conspiracy theories going crazy left.
Okay,
right.
I haven't heard this conspiracy theory, but I see what happened.
Where you been, on the rock?
No, I ain't heard. I don't believe in conspiracy theory. It's either show me the facts, because conspiracy theory, anybody can come up with something that don't make sense and they don't have the facts. So I go off the facts. So now, from looking at the video, from what I see, the Secret Service fucked up overall. Because,
you ain't never lied.
Because why would you position yourself on the roof during his speech and not get there early enough to position yourself on the roof? Then you would have caught the young man before anything could have happened. First of all, that's how they screwed up.
And not only that, here's another thing that came to mind, and I'll let you follow. It's like, didn't anybody clear that whole area? I mean, like that's like what 400. Some they say 400 yards. I mean, that's
About
clear as
450.
they. That's
Yeah.
super close, super close. And like,
But
how was anybody able to get into the building without being seen?
the problem, this is what I've been saying for years, and I don't know if Baker agrees with it or not, but these pampered ass generation of folks, these sorry ass politicians who's making these laws to make America completely weak. Our military is weak behind them, and now you see our own Secret Service is not performing up to their best ability simply because that is a common sense thing. That is something where if you were in a combat zone, that's an automatic. Let me get up here before my enemy comes or possible enemy comes to cover the area. Let me go back and check everything and everybody. I don't care if it's 400 or 500 feet, long enough because they know how far a bullet can travel based on the caliber of a weapon. And if they took that in consideration, they would have checked that distance. And don't get me wrong, I'm not from the left, I'm not for the right. I'm looking at the facts, and this is where, in my opinion, that they screwed up. Now, when the woman said that the Secret Service they jumped on top of Trump, if you play that clip again, that's bullshit. Simply because when Trump felt that warmness in his ear and he saw that blood in his hand, he
He was
went
like,
down.
wait.
He went to the ground. He went to the ground, and then they jumped on top. So if people just play stuff
Late
back
response.
slowly in slow motion, they can see the specific details. 1, 2, 3, 4, not go from 1 to 6, and then forget everything in the middle. So therefore, they didn't jump on him, and they didn't react in a manner as fast as they did, because listen to how many shots they went off before they jumped on top of him and before Trump touched his ear. So if you're hearing shots, regardless if you think it's fireworks, you pull his ass out.
Yeah, and then automatically get down. And then another thing too is like everything was super late. And on top of that, I'm gonna see if I can find the clip. Is like there was people even before he even fired the shot that said, "Hey, there's someone's on the roof. There's someone's on the roof. There's someone's on the roof."
But see, the problem is
They jump on.
well, and I'm on the fence with that part, because you have agitators that would do certain things and say certain things to distract. So you can't really go off that. I mean, let's just be real, you know, and that's what the news media does. That's what everyone does. That's what you do. That's what Baker does. That's what I do. We always use a distraction to veer somebody's attention to something else. So you really cannot go off what somebody really says unless it's someone that's reliable, that's trustworthy. There's so
I
many
can't.
people there, and the
I'm gonna have
mentality
to
of the people
slightly
there are
disagree.
not all on the same
I'm gonna have to
page.
pull up the video clip because you can actually see the shooter actually bear crawling on the roof. Like they
Right.
were pointing towards him.
Okay. But that individual may have seen him. He was bear crawling. I don't disagree with that. But how many people can you trust if somebody tell you something and they say point and they bullshit you? Just like I don't know if the person is a bullshitter or not. I have to believe you before I look in the direction you pointing at. I have to trust you to look in the direction that you pointing at. And it goes down to trust. No one trusts each other. And that's one of the biggest issues here in the United States, is with the lack of trust among each other, to not be able to react and respond in the manner that they should.
I see where I understand. I agree with that, and also it kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier, how they should have been set up beforehand. So let's say even if someone was saying that, they should have been already set so they can already scout and be looking around so they can confirm
Right.
that immediately. But if in the video it looked like they were just now getting set, like why was it so in the middle of the speech?
And that's the whole point. But I'm gonna let Baker say something, because I know he itching to say something. Because he and I don't agree with everything, but the concept, I think he kind of agrees the way I'm looking at it when I'm looking at that video. What you think, Baker?
Well, I think you was headed down the rabbit hole of a conspiracy theory. And I would like to say that I don't believe there's nothing about this event that was actually what I would call stage. This
Oh,
is
I'm
a
not.
stage event. This happened in real time. One of our former presidents of the United States had a devil to show up and try to take his life. I am proud, if I ever been proud before, to be an American, to see the facts that for just whether it was 1 hour or 24 hours, that we became again no longer Democrat, Republican, or independent. Last time I seen that we broke away and became free is 9/11, when our towers was attacked, our planes were attacked. We went from being Democrat, Republic, and independent. All of us was praying together. Regardless of your political views and how you see things, whether you like or dislike the president, former president of the United States, either one of them. There's never a time of violence, okay? Never.
Now, when you
And
say,
here's why, because the same thing that happened here can happen again to the current president or senators or anybody. Listen, Chris, Joshane, and the rest of the crew that comes on here, you have to understand, we've been afforded some rights under the Constitution of the United States. We got the right to bear arms, the freedom of speech, the freedom of press. And if you try to silence somebody for what they're saying, you need to be executed to the highest standard that this country offers. That devil, that demon, that hillbilly, that thug, that criminal, that bastard that laid on top of that building to take out one of America's finest. Did I lose you, Negroes?
Hey, I'm listening. I'm listening before I respond.
Said one of America's
Hey, look, we
finest.
listening now. We listening.
And we can't sit here and bat our eye because he's a Republican, nor could we have batted our eye because it was a Democrat. We need to bat our eye that someone is trying to wreak havoc on the freedom of speech, the freedom of ideals, and the freedom of how we view things in this world, and the freedom of press. If that's the case, we would have people, if we endorse this, we will have people coming after us. I see people every day. It happens to me at least once a week in certain communities.
Okay.
Hey, I know you. You on that show. You on that show. And I don't get excited because I don't know if they like the show or hate the show or hate me.
Okay, so let me ask a quick question, Baker. So does that pretty much show like the unrest within our own country?
America's in trouble, Chris. We've been in trouble.
And I concur. This
is not the last. You go back and check some of the videos and some of the archives of the show of In the Trenches, you're going to see where I've already discussed it there.
Yeah, I concur. I think America has been in trouble for so long and too long, but the problem with America is denial. The biggest denial is always going to be the issue in this country of not facing problems, but they've always ran away or avoided dealing with the problems. And that's the problem with this country. That's what's tearing the country apart. That's what's making the country weak. That is one of the reasons why other countries outside of the United States lack the respect of the United States. This is the reason why you have Russia that's down in Cuba. That's close.
They're gonna be laughing.
That's close to.
They're gonna be
okay. And then that's why you have China like, you owe us money. And then they're going to get the natural resources from Africa because of the lack of the stability of the mental folks that's elected in office, that they didn't even want to have a connection with Africa to get the minerals so then they can have the infrastructure to be able to at least be ahead. Now they fucked up to the point where the minerals are purchased and bought and gain from China, and then we're buying their products, but we can't control the minerals because they went over there and did something that we should have done that they didn't do because of the racial mentality, the denial that United States has been racist and have not dealt with it and tried to come up with a solution to change the narrative from the propaganda to the TV shows to movies and things of that nature. We have not changed that to the point where you have other countries. If you black and you go to another country, they look down upon you because of the programming that's been done here.
So
And
here's
they're
my
gonna
question.
definitely look at this situation too as like y'all can't even control your own citizens, and then on top of that, it just shows a weakness in our own security. When you have like a leader that's supposed to be on our country, and we show that we can't even have the security to guard against our own citizens,
Now,
it makes it work.
and you're right. Now, picture this strategically. If anybody plays chess, you know it's not all about offense, it's defense, right? Well, United States has always played offense. They have never played defense. Never played defense. And even to this day, we're not playing defense. We're playing too much offense. This is the reason why Russia was doing what they were doing, intimidating, coming close to the borders and things of that nature. And then we don't respond. We're playing offense. We should always be playing defense because if we
But what
have
does
this
that
much,
have to do with the president, the
well,
past
the
and the future president of the
Yeah, that's what
United
I was about
States,
to like ask.
who I think is fabulous and doing a fabulous job, and will continue. How does that chime in and merge together? Or how do we marry that statement with we just had one of America's finest have an attempt on his life?
We
And
need to-
are we
we-
going to just go to sleep at the wheel
no, we don't need
and
to go to
bring
sleep
up
at the wheel.
race and bring up the tragedy of race
Which
and
has
to bring
currently
up the
happened
tragedy?
on
Black America's been whining about being set in a position for a long time. And while we're crying and whining, not you and say the host, because I am a fan of In the Trenches and I love it. But here's the fact is that we spend more damn time crying about what's not happening. And the same way this man was almost executed for what he believed in. What if they come after me? What if they come after you, Chris? What if they come after you, Jashane?
Oh, I got something for that ass.
Well,
we know you
Secret
do.
Service
It's
had
always
something
like
for
the
them, but it didn't happen. And see, keep in mind here, there's a lot of moving parts going on that we don't know about. The guy that had him in frame and had the target, he had him for 3 minutes, but was told, don't take the shot. The building that he was in was actually occupied as a place where they just would come and house the police and the feds and the Secret Service and everything. Something, yes, went wrong, and we do not always have to judge people. Something went wrong. What went wrong? Okay,
But it's not judging.
We
It's
learn
just
stuff from mistakes, and I think that
I would definitely say mistakes
we
because
have
there's
the
flaws.
best. We have the best Secret Service in the world. Law enforcement, I think.
Okay, so how about this? How about as we continue talking, how about I pull
I
up
don't
the
know
map
about that.
so
I
we
think they
pretty
can be
much-
better.
Hold
But
on,
go
I'm
ahead,
about to pull
Chris.
up the map. I'm saying like as y'all talk about this, let me pull up the map so you can kind of digest what's going on, and you pretty much go in your own opinion. So we have, of course, the shooter location right here on top of the building. The stage is here. Then we have the evacuation point right here, and then the counter sniper team, which probably saw them in sight. I mean, the shooter in sight. So just kind of looking at this from above, what are you gathering? What could have been better to prevent this, or like, what do you see?
I think the only mistake that was made is that guy exited or entered on the side of that building that they had previously swept that building. I believe that because they in there. And I believe because the way he was dressed in all his fatigue, they probably saw him approach the building, didn't play it no mind.
Thought it was one of them.
And I think that
that's the assumption.
Yeah, I don't believe the Secret Service did anything wrong. They did great, according to Mike.
I have to disagree. I have to agree to disagree with you on
All
that.
right, go ahead.
Because when you secure a place, you don't secure it once. You constantly have someone going around and checking everything, locking doors, make sure there's a control entrance. Even in the military, we always have a control entrance, which is one way in and one way out, and you always have someone there. This is why I say I have to agree to disagree, because if they would have done something like that, they would have caught and would have raised suspicion in his age, his look, his appearance, and if he had a case, why does he have a case? You
They
know,
wouldn't even allow them on a roof.
right? So, looking at it on the military point of view, that's why I say the Secret Service messed up that bad, because they let their guard down. And anytime that you're in a situation like that, you cannot, no matter what, let your guard down. I don't care if it was, say, my wife coming up there. They gonna, if they would have done it right, they would have stopped, asked questions, frisk, looked through and everything before she would have went through. No matter who, they didn't do that.
You know what this? You know what this reminds me is like, you ever seen those cartoon episodes? We have a security guard. He's on watch, and all of a sudden he's just dozing off, and the person waits for the perfect opportunity when he completely dozes off and let his guard down and gets right on in.
That sounds like a security guard, like a spontaneous.
I'm not about to play with y'all.
And you know, to me, I just think that they could have done better. They could have planned better. And then the fact that, like I mentioned earlier,
Chris, can you go to the news live, CNN, that our illustrious future president has just arrived at the RNC convention, and he has done a fabulous job. He's doing a fabulous job. And listen, people, your life is going to be better after November.
Well, some folks will probably have to disagree with you, because I've been seeing and hearing chatters about Project 2025.
Don't worry about Project 25. That's
especially your people, black folks, saying how it's gonna revert back to back in the days where women won't have any rights, and there's gonna be control where blacks won't have the rights that we have now. They getting rid of diversity initiative in schools and work and all that other stuff.
They need to get rid of some of the foolishness. The LBGT community, I'm glad now in Oklahoma, Louisiana, other states are following along with getting the Bible back in school. Listen to me, okay? Listen to me, because I know most Negroes who listen to us are just a bunch of liberals, and they're low information.
Calling them out like that?
And they don't have a clue of what's going on. They can't name one Supreme Court justice. They can't name one Bill of Rights. They can't name one of the Constitution. They don't even know their rights. They didn't even know they was free under the Emancipation Proclamation. The Negroes didn't know when they was free. I am saying to you, the problem with the Negro is he failed to do this. See this?
I agree. He failed to read.
Failed to read. I do
to
have
me.
to agree with that.
Now listen. Democrat and Republicans. The difference is they both are pimps, but which one you want pimping you?
Yeah, and I've said that several times with different people. You know,
and you need we need to learn to vote our conscience and not the color.
And I concur.
I have my friends
but you have so many people, like when I speak to folks, even relatives, you know, they're like, oh, I can't vote for Trump. I'm gonna go to Biden. So I had given them an option. You got the devil that you know, or the devil you really don't know, because he's not stable mentally, and we get more and more in debt, which means inflation will get higher. Then you're gonna be struggling. Then you're gonna lose your house. You're gonna do all of that. I said, so which devil, lesser two evil, do you want to deal with? I'll tell you
the lesser two evil. The Bible say our enemies is of our own household. See, and ain't nobody in the streets trying to kill you. The ones that's trying to kill you are the ones in your own household, your closest acquaintance. What I'm saying to you is I just don't get it and stuff. And I ain't that old, but I don't get why Black America always and can't get out of this rut of voting color line.
All right, Baker.
And
So,
they don't
like,
have a conviction.
So I'm about to pull this up from NBC News of the updated
Now go to
information.
Fox. Quit going to that bull crap.
I'm gonna get both of them. I'm gonna get Fox
man,
and
y'all
NBC.
always go to
Look,
bull
one thing my
crap.
professor did say, we gotta hit all the news.
You gotta say why you trying to pull that up. I believe that the hand of the Lord is upon Trump.
Let's see.
They didn't dismiss the cases right after that today. He been shot at. And then there's another terrorist attack against him, assassination from the Iranians. Okay, and he keeps escaping.
So
listen,
you just mentioned that. So I'm just
he has been chosen for such a time as this. Negroes want somebody that's going to raise the value of their food stamps and one of them ABC checks.
No, I agree with that. That's what most blacks always want. They want
Let's play the video.
That free government cheese.
All right. Let me go ahead and play this.
I need a box of that. I'll take
news that during the pursuit, the officers told Secret Service they were looking for a suspicious person in the area. It's not clear when Secret Service was notified.
Look, there he is right there.
But Crooks did make it onto the rooftop. Two senior officials telling NBC News he had a Home Depot receipt for a ladder when they searched his body. Officials have not confirmed if that ladder was found on site. NBC News learning two local police officers approached Crooks before he opened fire, but couldn't stop him. The head of the Secret Service telling ABC News local police were actually stationed inside that same building. A Secret Service spokesman says the location of the roof fell outside of their central security perimeter and was the primary responsibility of local law enforcement. The Department of Homeland Security, which oversees the U.S. Secret Service, now conducting a review. The DHS secretary acknowledging mistakes were made.
When I say that something like this cannot happen, we are speaking of a failure.
Authorities have said that the shooter acted alone. Now Politico is reporting that the DHS and FBI have issued a rare joint bulletin warning there could be retaliatory violence by extremists in response to the failed assassination attempt, although they were not specific about potential targets, Hoda.
Crooks did not have much of a digital footprint. Police and investigators.
All right, so and then I'm gonna skim over this real quick and then we'll be discussing more.
But see, even they said they made a mistake.
Yep. So let me go over this real quick. U.S. officials learned that Iran plot to kill former President Trump weeks before attempted assassination in Butler, Pennsylvania. Secret Service Director Kimberly they trying to stop me that the assassination that should never happen. Yeah, they're pretty much agreeing with that. And that was the person that got killed to fire.
Let me say this while Chris reading, if he can stop for a second. Think it not strange. This is only the beginning. We're at the end. We're running. The Democratic National Convention, I think, starts in what? August?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we don't get to see people everything in here. There's been attacks already. There's been a terrorist attacks launch that's going to be, it's on the wire against Biden and some more against Trump and other political high figures. It's just an ongoing, we just happen to see this. What I'm saying is we must understand something. The timing right now is drastic. The timing right now is unprecedented. Some things are going to be happening more so than we really see. You think this is the talk of the town today?
Oh no, they ain't gonna be talk time because it's only gonna get worse, especially like what happened in Nashville.
Oh yeah,
the followers of Trump, you know, the ones in Nashville.
I will be the first to go online and say live and say on this show tonight, we'd listen to Soul Production. You find them on YouTube, Instagram, I guess, Facebook, Snapback, Chatback, Get Back,
Hey, you're gonna get your Snapback shirt coming soon.
I might as well add that to the list.
Suck it back.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
No, but here's the thing I like to say. We're headed for people. History repeats itself. What we're headed towards, and I'm looking straight in all these camera bright lights and down there white, is this. We're headed for a civil war.
And I agree.
And what I like to ask,
showing all the clear signs.
The question I like to ask is this: are your drawers clean?
He got a point.
Hey, that's
Now,
a T-shirt.
That part.
Hey, got a point. Now, Baker, you got to explain to him what do you mean by your drawers clean?
Oh God. Man.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Because some folks don't
Are you
understand
ready?
that.
Are you focused? Are your eyes open? Are you preparing your family? You think we just experienced some time when we had power for 3 days out and 6 days for some people. You got your drawers down and you pooped in them because you didn't know what to do. You were running crazy because there was no power, there was no food, there was no lights, there was no nothing. You're going to get us all killed, nigga. You ain't ready for this civil war when they going to kick your door in and shoot you, your mama, Uncle Willie, and Otis, and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready, America. I found a tape where I did a preaching 20 years ago titled, Wake Up, America, You're Too Young to Die. This is the youngest country it is.
You
Hold
got
up.
a
Just found
point.
something very interesting that just I pulled up 31 minutes recent Fox News. So now I pull from your sources. So hold on. So let me go ahead and get this right so I can share the screen. So now we're pulling from your resources, Baker. You got Fox News coming up. Let's see. Y'all see this? Andy Harris calls on Secret Service director to resign after near assassination. Let's see what we got.
Now the shock is turning to anger as lawmakers say they want answers and they want them quickly. Fox News senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram joins us live on the Hill with some brand new information. Hello, Chad.
Good morning, Shannon. I just talked to James Comer, who's the chair of the Oversight Committee, and he tells me that he's going to have Kimberly Cheadle, who is the director of the Secret Service, in for what he termed an emergency hearing. That would be on Monday, the 22nd of July. He hopes to get an additional briefing on Monday or Tuesday. Now, there was immediate condemnation of the shooting. Right now, lawmakers from both sides want people to dial things back.
In the meantime, we've got to turn the rhetoric down. We've got to turn the temperature down in this country. We need leaders of all parties on both sides to call that out and make sure that happens so that we can go forward and
you know what? Pause that. Pause that for a moment. When he say he need leaders from both sides, I'm gonna call bullshit flag. Because if they really wanted to, they could have been working together and not against each other years ago, and not allow it to build. I got the politics.
No, they don't come together until there's a tragedy. See, listen, Joshing, you got a good point.
I do see that too.
Let me make this point. America is crooked.
Of course.
And we don't come
like
together.
Like a $4 bill.
Okay. During 9/11, there was no Democrat, no Independent, no Republican, no nothing. No black, no white, no Jew, no Gentile. We all was praying together. We were crying together. We were called Americans. And we had a phrase, I will never forget. They forgot. And here's the thing. It always takes something tragic to wake America up. Okay? Now, she's going to wake up
again. I never
did
like that, too. We always react.
Yeah, and she's going to wake up again and become the beast, the whore she is. Okay?
No, he right, but the only problem that I have is this. When Baker stated that, there was no Democrats, there's no Republican, there's no black or white, Gentiles, and everybody come together and everybody was praying. To me, I'm looking at it as people going through the motion. So you really don't love America as much as you say. You're just going through the motion. And so by going through the motion, majority of the people are fake. Just like on a podcast that you and I had talked about, how many people actually love America? Now, don't get me wrong. Secret Service fucked up.
They definitely
right?
did.
But how many times or let me ask this other question before I ask that. How many politicians have enough knowledge, enough experience in law enforcement or in the military for them to be able to dictate how, I don't care who or what party, how they should be acting if they've never been in the shoes of a law enforcement military member. Now, we mess up military, law enforcement, military, secret service, FBI. Right. But most of the politicians, the majority of politicians have no fucking trying to dictate how things supposed to be, but they don't.
But why do you let them? Why did America let them? Why do you vote? See, and people don't know, especially our people, don't know who to vote for. Okay,
Because-
they vote
because
for
they don't
vote for
read. I
people
mean,
who give them boxes of chicken.
That's because of our people vote, in my opinion, is because of greed,
I think
selfishness,
that and well,
And-
that
and-
and then let me ask
and
this.
their
then-
laziness, which still goes back to them being selfish because they're only thinking about
Well,
themselves
okay,
and nobody else, and then they want to have something to complain about.
Okay, I do agree with you on that, but also don't forget about this that there's a lot of trauma. So a lot of people have. I'll just label it the traumatized vote. Either they don't vote at all, or they're going to vote in a way of they pretty much think of like in the past, like in slavery. If that makes sense.
Okay, but now I have to go
Like
with
a s-
Baker. I'm gonna have to go with Baker on that part. Then, if that's the case, get your lazy motherfucking Negro ass up and read a fucking book. Learn from the past to know what you need to do in the future, in the present.
Okay.
Stop
I agree
making
with
that
you.
excuses. And if you so-called scarred, take your ass, go get you some mental health counseling, and stop
I'm
making
actually-
excuses because you too old and too gray. You got hair on your cat or your nut that you can't go and get some damn help because you see you see some black folks that you're around is doing better and think better than you. Well, why you can't duplicate what they doing? You stealing everything else from other people, the ideas and all that. Why you can't steal that type of shit?
And I will agree with you with all that. And I think the problem is this: it's sin within our own culture when it comes to the victim mentality.
It's easy.
I don't know, but I said this so many times, and it is a problem with our culture. Yes, we have went through hardship and a lot of bullshit in the past, but that victim mentality is the main thing that holds us back today. Because
hold on one
no,
second.
no, let me finish. Because it goes to what you were saying. Because we will go to the victim. We don't want to put the work in. We want handouts, and we don't want to actually take actions to get ourselves out of the situation.
No
Did we get
accountability. This is what
No
Baker always
accountability.
talking about.
And
He
that's why I
described
said,
no
like,
accountability.
we're using the trauma from the past. And I'm not saying that there's some effed up stuff that happened in the past. We're using it as a crutch to not move forward. We were expecting to be handed to us. And so that it's like we expect this rocket of a launch to where we want to be without putting no work in.
Man, you give him. You know what? At first I had to disagree with Baker when we talked about reparation. About we don't need it, Negroes ain't gonna do nothing. You know, at first I was like, oh man, come on, we need. But then the more I really started thinking about it, I started realizing Baker is right. Because if you give a bunch of Negroes some money, they're gonna waste it on some tattoos,
They're gonna lose
piercing, buying some name brand stuff.
They're not going
They're gonna buy. They're gonna buy nothing but liability and be broke within a year and a half because they don't know how to manage their damn money.
Buy Sexy Red and Gorilla, whatever that
Go to the strip clubs and
get some Gucci,
Coochie,
and Scoochie and all that old stuff and Timmy Chain.
So I have to agree with Baker on this. We would not know what to do because majority of blacks don't know how to manage their fucking money. If they knew how to manage their money, then our community would be just like the Jewish community with having wealth and keeping the dollar currently flowing within the community before it goes outside.
All right, so let me bring it more to topic as well. Okay, so with all this frustration and much more, what do we need to do to actually get back on track? Because we always complaining about like how we don't.
Well,
like certain
there's
things.
no such thing as get back because we never was there.
Okay, but we're all the issue I'm saying is we're always complaining about things that are happening in politics, but we don't want to put the work in nor read or take accountability for things that we can control in our own backyard.
Because
especially when we come into like the president election, Like we are coming to this thing like we about to need to have votes and much more, bring awareness, read, and be more informed. And people are going to be looking at this and be like, I don't want to have no part of this. It's not going to even matter.
Because it is so easy, in my opinion. Bacon probably agree or disagree. However, it's so easy for Negroes to not accept accountability. So to make sure that they will not accept accountability, they make excuses for what's going on by not reading, like what you named, and not doing the things. Because once your eyes are open, now what are you going to do? What are you going to do after you know and have the knowledge? Are you going to just sit there? Now you're accountable, and they don't want to be accountable like that. You know, and they want to make excuses, and they think everything is cute when it's ignorant and stupid.
Here's the thing: there's a solution to the problem, and here's the solution. And the solution is this: we got to start teaching our people to quit burying their head in television, quit burying their head in the TikTok,
and video
quit
games,
burying their head on Instagram, quit burying their head on Snapchat. And quit going out to these restaurants that are taking your money. Bury your heads in books about history. Bury your heads in the book about the Bible and politics and life issue and things of that sort to make you a better human being. Negroes have been waiting for the white man to make him great. He's not going to make you great. He shouldn't make you great.
That's all he wants.
No, let me handle y'all Negroes tonight. Quit trying to make the white man responsible for your greatness. It ain't his problem.
It sure isn't.
You're the problem. You're the problem. The white man ain't studying you.
He sure not.
Yeah,
it goes back in full circle. We're talking about like you have. I said accountability.
I was quiet.
That's what we're going.
The problem is this here. While we're over here complaining about the so-called white man, he ain't interested in damaging you. He ain't doing no damage. You're doing damage to yourself.
Exactly.
Now, listen, let me explain something why, because I need to help you come out of this stupid way. Your mama wasn't even here doing slavery. Your grandmother wasn't even here, probably was. You don't even know her. What I'm saying, we're trying to hold people to the fire that had nothing to do with the slavery that our ancestors, and most of you Negroes don't even know none of your people that was in slavery. Was there some damage done? Yes. Is there some accountability being held? Yes. But I'm tired of being apologized to. They don't need to apologize to me.
Oh, they apologize
to me. If they want to
give
me some land and some stuff and some John Deere tractors, I'm hoping for that.
See, and I'm open for that too.
Okay, so
but
let me
the
just
generation here now, they people gone. And we still listen to these pimps and punks like Al Sharpton. Okay.
All right, so let me throw this
No,
question.
why you don't know? No, not
no.
so.
I gotta keep us on track. So, like, let's say if the assassination was actually done and complete, what do you think the aftermath of that would have been? What do you think the aftermath would have been if Trump was assassinated?
If he was?
Yes. How you think the aftermath?
It really doesn't matter, Chris. Because that was an attempt.
No, I'm saying like if it did happen.
He's saying hypothetical.
Yes. How you think people would react to it?
Like they're gonna react here, you're gonna see just before November. It ain't over, bro.
It's not over.
It's not forgotten. And this issue, we have to understand that when things like this happen, it's just not something because the perpetrator was taken out, and that the perpetrator was taken out, then we just soon forget. It doesn't work that way, okay? The greatest thing of all times can be is silence. And right now, people are silent. They're hush mouth state. They're at their quietness. And what they're waiting on is the greatest opportunity that will be afforded to them. Do we think that someone is going to try and do the same thing on the other side coming up at their convention, prior to their convention? I think we have one of the greatest speakers right now that is speaking, if Chris can bring it up, at the convention, and that represent Texas. And talking about the convention here, and they're talking about something that just makes a lot of sense. See, the other side right now, the conservatives are taking advantage of this opportunity to explain to America why they are the best brand, they are the best product. I don't care what nobody says. Because of what has taken place, people who was not Trumper and people that didn't care for him, now they came back on the other side. Notice
he's right.
A gentleman by the name J.D. Vance, a 39-year-old individual, young whippersnapper. All right. Now I can't make it out. I've been trying to find this out. Don't matter. I just like to know. Look like he got a woman of color. But the game is going to change. The proximity of things are going to change. Will this happen on the next one? Yes, 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 yes. It will. But I don't get it sometimes how we make arguments that doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay. And
right,
it's
so
going to happen again. Chris, can you pull up that?
I'll pull it up. I got on YouTube. You talking about
Okay,
the
and
Republican
see what,
convention?
and you're gonna see partisanship in its finest. You see people who was not on this side, but on the side. Did you hear the Teamsters speak last night? The first time, and a lot of people don't know this because they don't study history. We had a Teamster unit speak for the first time ever at a Republican convention. Okay, go. I see. Chris, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's playing.
Mute me. I'm gonna stand up for a second.
My fellow Republicans, President Trump asked me to speak to this convention in the name of unity. It was a gracious invitation, and I was happy to accept. I'll start by making one thing perfectly clear. Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period. Our country is at a critical moment. We have a choice to make. For more than a year, I said a vote for Joe Biden is a vote for President Kamala Harris. After seeing the debate, everyone knows it's true. If we have 4 more years of Biden or a single day of Harris, our country will be badly worse off. For the sake of our nation, we have to go with Donald Trump. But there's more to it than that. We should acknowledge that there are some Americans who don't agree with Donald Trump 100% of the time. I happen to know some of them. And I want to speak to them tonight. My message to them is simple. You don't have to agree with Trump 100% of the time to vote for it. Take it from me, I haven't always agreed with President Trump. But we agree more often than we disagree. We agree on keeping America strong. We agree on keeping America safe. And we agree that Democrats have moved so far to the left that they're putting our freedoms in danger. I'm here tonight because we have a country to save. And a unified Republican Party is essential for saving her. For those who have some doubts about President Trump, I want to tell you a few things about the commander-in-chief I know and worked with. As ambassador to the United Nations, I had a front row seat to his national security policies. We sure could use those again. Think about it. When Barack Obama was president, Vladimir Putin invaded Crimea. With Joe Biden as president, Putin invaded all of Ukraine. But when Donald Trump was president, Putin did nothing. No invasions, no wars. That was no accident. Putin didn't attack Ukraine because he knew Donald Trump was tough. A strong president doesn't start wars. A strong president prevents wars. Then look at the Middle East. Every problem in that part of the world can be laid at the feet of Iran. The dictators who chant death to America are the bankrollers and weapons suppliers for Hamas and Hezbollah. They're behind the barbaric massacres and the hostage taking. Once again, compare Trump and Biden. Trump got us out of the insane Iran nuclear deal. He imposed the toughest sanctions ever on Iran. And he eliminated the arch terrorist Qasem Soleimani. Iran was too weak to start any wars. They knew Trump meant business and they were afraid. And then there's Joe Biden. He lifted the sanctions. He begged them to get back into the nuclear deal. He surrendered in Afghanistan. He sent every possible sign of weakness. Even now, while Hamas is still holding Americans hostage, Biden is pressuring Israel instead of the terrorists.
Okay, I want to
Between
give us an
Israel
opportunity
and
to kind of
Hamas,
speak on. We can come back to the
Donald
live
Trump is-
video, but after hearing a little bit of the convention, of course, is live. What do y'all gather from that?
Becky, you're muted. She brought out some facts, and that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying
let me say
earlier.
something.
I look at the facts and I listen to the facts. I don't listen to all that BS stuff.
I understand. But Joshine, what I'm trying to show you, and maybe on Friday night show we can talk this. This is a fabulous show with Chris. And people that's texting me, I don't know. You go to Facebook, you go to Twitter, but you're listening to Soul's production. Is that right? And
Soul
Chris' show comes on every Tuesday at 7:30. And I'm just a guest. And but he makes a lot of sense. He have wonderful topics, just like anybody else in his show. Let me say this. I thought about this when me and you talked today, Chris. Before I comment, is when you called me today, we were checking on each other, doing the storm, blah blah blah. And as I hung up, I thought the phone, and I said, "What a marvelous life we have in the world. We may not be rich, We may not have everything we want, but we have something. You can buy a house and they can take it from you, the bank. You can buy a car and they can take it from you. You can get a credit card and they can cut your limit and take it from you.
Yep.
But our servicemen and military men and all those who have served and have fought to make the Constitution remain what it is, we got something they can't take from us, and we got to keep fighting for that. And that's our rights, our First Amendment, our Second Amendment. If we do not vote for president that has our rights in hand and the Constitution, the right to bear arms would disappear, and the right to the freedom of press. I told someone at an event I was at, and I want you to hear this very clear, that everything has changed so drastically. Now we have in our hands something that was afforded to the mainstream media, the liberals and the conservatives. Now everybody has access and everybody is exercising their constitutional right, the freedom of press, like we're doing tonight. And if we're going to start executing and trying to execute people for what their opinion is and what they believe in, then what stopped them from coming after me and coming after you and coming after Chris? Do you understand? So we have to learn why we have to vote. And from the radio station I listened to, my friend that owns several of them, I said to him the other day that most people do not have. When I leave my house every day, I have this book. I have a copy of the Constitution with me everywhere I go, okay? Everywhere I go. And most people don't read it. We were talking two-term Vietnam vet guys and a pilot, and who is a current pilot and fly around all the celebrities. Joshine, that's the one I was telling you about. And he watched our show, but he said something to me, is that, listen, the freedom that we have, if we don't continue to fight for it and voice our opinion, we will lose. We have the right to say what we want. We have the right to be a part of the press. We are the press, okay? And that's why you're allowed to film. So, and you need to be able to say what you want to say without any repercussion on your life. I don't care. I guess my point is, know why you're a Democrat, know why you're a Republican, and know why you're independent. Most people cannot name one Supreme Court justice. They cannot name one U.S. senator. They cannot even name the vice president. They don't know their state senator. You get it? And they don't know what they're voting for.
That's true. That's true.
And that's my point. So with that said, it ain't no lily white righteous party. And I think the white liberals has done more damage to the black than any other organization, because they understood something that we was told. You remember the phrase, if you can't beat them, join them? Yeah. See, that's what the liberals did.
Of course.
They came in amongst us and pretend to like us and to pretend that our party is their party, and all this bull crap. But he was a secret agent for the other side. You remember the blacks were the first Republicans. And the conservatives.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because so many people forgot that. I think
so many people not just forgot, but Chris, there's people that don't even know.
So Chris, this is what you need to ask a bunch of your little young liberal whippersnapper friends. Why are you a Democrat? You know what they'll tell you? My mama was a Democrat. My grandma, Uncle Willie, my oldest.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, because it's black in their idea.
Yeah.
And they forget that a lot of our strong Republicans are actually African Americans.
I know they're watching, but don't tell them. Let's pull some of these youngsters on here and let us whip out this Constitution and ask them what the First Amendment is. Let's put them on there. Let's get them on there and ask them who is name. I'll be good if they can name one, but name me 3 Supreme Court justices. How many liberal Supreme Court justices do we have? How many conservatives do we have? Who appointed them? How were they appointed?
See, the thing about what I agree with tonight, majority of what Baker's saying, he's saying something without saying it. And I'm going to say it the way
go blunt. Go to say how you.
he
Go
basically
ahead.
saying is this: when he talks about the books and he talks about the reading, he talks about asking, the questions being asked to individuals. What he's really saying is simple: know the fucking rules to the game before you play the game. So to know the rules to the game, get your ass in the books to understand it. So then you know how the rules to the game is, so you can devise your strategy of the game before you execute the plan.
You know what they're gonna say? Here's the youngsters. Man, it ain't cool to read a book, man. Why I gotta do that, man?
And I get that all the time. But see, that's the whole thing that I agree with Baker. If you're not gonna read the book, shut the fuck up
And be quiet, because here's what's happening.
Because you're dumb as shit and you don't know nothing. All you're doing is complaining.
Here's the thing: we don't have nothing to leave our children. We have absolutely nothing to leave our children.
I'm gonna give you alley because I think it's gonna aid your argument that you're making. So one thing that I heard, and I even saw this on the post, is like they said like once you become 18 years old, you should not get any financial support from any adults. And when I saw that, I was like, that right there is what holds us behind. Because if you really look at what the dominant race, and I'm saying white folk, has done, they have tremendously shared their wealth over centuries, generation. And that's why we're ahead. This is why my culture at times pisses me off of that shit. Because you want to start over from the beginning and think you're going to actually beat them when they over here laughing at your ass and building their foundation, and it just continue to build off of the next. And
that's why I say you got to read, like Baker been saying, and I've always said you got to know the rules to the game. The only way you know the rules to the game, you got to read.
You're not playing fact. You're gonna get cheated.
Yeah, and you don't even know what your worth is because you're not reading the rules to the game to know what your worth is. Just like if you don't read 48 Laws of Power, that's all that they're doing in that book. If you read it,
which is one of my favorite books.
Me and my friend was talking about that the other day.
That's all they're doing.
48 Laws of Power, and then I throw another one, The Art of Seduction, both of them
combined. Yeah, and if you read another psychological book that's called Who Stole My Cheese, is a psychological book on
awesome
how
book,
people how people
I had
respond.
That book, one of your people stole it, but go ahead.
But if you don't read it, then you can't understand yourself. Then you can't understand how you read somebody else to be able to catch them when they're trying to run game on you.
There you go. So where do we go from here? What do we do to make a difference and to change? How do we get people to vote understandably and not consciously? No.
Because we got elections right around the corner. And people going to say again, like,
I would be the first to say on Soul Production Show, I would be the first to say this. Unfortunately, people, he needs to go. Biden, he needs to leave quickly. I believe that he is going to do it between now and up to the coming of the Democratic National Convention. I think so too. I don't think he's going to be the lamb slain. If he do become the lamb slain, I believe he will still withdraw and go away and turn it over. Now, if the history that I've read treat me right, all the money that's in their coffers has to be turned over to Ragley Harris. Is that her name?
So therefore, Ragley Harris. You wrong for that.
You had a large contributor who said $90 million we're going to hold back. Okay? Now, will she become the lamb slain? No, nobody really likes her. She looks funny, fake, and fraudulent. It's not about that. It's about this. Who can get the money? Who can raise the money? Who can bring money to the party? Remember this, people. Again, we're helping those. That's why you need to go to the Patreons and all these things and subscribe and see the stuff we do, because you don't get this from your local news media. You got more information about the storm right here. The money, where the money is going to go. Okay? If everything goes the way it's planned, the money will not go and they'll stop it. Now listen, they don't want her. No one wants her. The Democrats don't want her and the Republicans don't want her. Okay? I don't like him, but I think the gentleman Hakeem Jeffries, is that his name? the Democratic House Speaker.
I think so.
I think he'll do a good job temporarily, and that's where it should go. And that's the plan is going to set up. Listen something about this country. America is still not ready for certain things. Okay, they'll take a black man as a president, but right now I don't think they're ready for a black woman.
They're not.
They're not even ready for a white woman. So you got to understand something. The money givers, the PAC, the organizations that give all the money, the PAC, and there's large organizations, I don't want to get a shout their name out, that give tons and tons of money. And it makes sense because in order for the elections to be won, you got to have some money. All right, we're showing a clip. What's that? There he is. That's Jeffries. Okay. He's an intellectual, but everybody that's an intellectual, everything shining is not gold. Everything shaking his hips is not a woman, Joshing.
Oh, yeah. You can get that on our shirts on In the Trenches website. I got to put that plug in. It's the Baker collection. Oh, he go again. There he go again. Well, I have to agree with what Baker was saying. You know, everything he was saying is absolutely correct. You know, and the way he brings it, he gives a lot of, you know, examples. But I just shoot straight. I know exactly.
Say hello to the people.
Oh, there you go. Hey, y'all.
Look at this guy here. She is very smart. Hey, we got to get her on the show. Very intelligent lady. Very intelligent. I don't deal with nothing but the best. You got to come. Yeah. And
so yeah, I agree with everything that Baker was saying.
Let's talk about Jeffries for a second. Let's talk about Jeffries. Jeffries, he's an intelligent man. Now, and I know we got to end, Chris, but notice who hasn't peeked their head up too much. They're showing their face now. It's y'all former president, y'all black king.
Oh, Barack
that
Obama.
Long leg Mac Daddy.
No, you didn't.
Walking in the basketball game like he was a slick pimp. He is. Now,
he's gonna leave like that.
America's in trouble. And who is going to be the Democratic nominee? We don't know.
They ain't got nobody.
There is no one. So what they gonna do? Joe Biden is eating up with the dementia, the diabetes,
probably cholesterol and everything else,
and the
high
poops
blood
on
pressure.
When you introduce, he introduced Zelensky as President Putin.
I know on that debate, he introduced his vice president as Vice President Trump on that debate.
Oh God! Did he actually do that for real?
Yes.
Yeah, play it back. Fine, and play it. I guarantee you. So it's like, how can you? The lesser of two evil. How can you vote for someone that cannot even remember the vice president that you selected, that you spoke to, that you asked, that you vetted? You did all of this, and you can't remember the person's name.
Oh,
see, here's the thing. Listen, one of my brothers said this. He watched it. He says this. He says, Baker. Oh, Chris actually just said it as well. Who do they have? Who do they have to pick from?
They don't have anyone. I know at one point rumor was saying that they were trying to get Obama's wife. At one point, it was rumor.
Oh, she ain't having it. She
said no.
She made it. No, she said after those 8 years, she's done. She made that.
Yeah, point. At one point they were really trying to push her, and she was like, "No, I'm not doing it."
That's that internet chat. You got to stay away from that and go to Fox News.
No, she said that in an interview. She said,
she said in the interview,
we're done. She said, like, we have had enough hit. I'm paraphrasing what she said, not the exact, but basically, she was basically saying, we've been through enough hell with y'all already. We served our time. We're done. I'm taking my family.
But where Obama has been coaching, I believe, allegedly, that he's been schooling Biden. Now, here's a gentleman that I thought would make a good job, but he was not picked for VP. He's coming on stage now. Is is DeSantis. I have confidence in him. I have confidence in Marco Rubio. I love me some Nikki Haley. I'm just there, okay? I don't see the Republican Party as everybody else see it. The Democrat Party, I see them because they devils and they got their uniform on. We have local state senators and representatives that are dying and no one know. Y'all got one of y'all major Democratic black women who is sick unto death. I can't quote it to the T, but they tell me she's on hospice. And she's still trying to make things happen. Okay? She needed to lay down and just die in peace. Okay?
Well, that's just like past people that was in Congress, like my brother in arms that passed away from Arizona, that Trump at one point was talking bad about because he got caught and he was a POW. Now that part, I have to say that pissed me off.
We need a commander-in-chief. And I'm with him. We got a commander-in-chief. Whether you like Trump or not, you got to love something about it.
Yeah, spoken, he'll speak his mind.
He didn't wiggle through 34 felony convictions.
Yep.
Do y'all understand how this works? That just Saturday there was an attempted murder, attempted assassination. Today is Monday. They dropped one of them cases against him. Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Wake up, people.
He knows how to work the system.
Get your thumb out your mouth. You sucking your thumb.
I put it like this, and people may get mad. I'd rather have someone that has enough sense to know how to work the system than pretty much is not
And my boy,
capable
I
of it.
met Wesley Hunt. He's intelligent. He's an intellectual. I believe that he's going to be a part of the cabinet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So as we pretty much come to the end with all this going on, y'all have some closing remarks and let the audience know where they can find you.
Pray for America.
That's it? That's it, brother?
I'm shocked.
I'm ready Friday.
All right. Well, this is your boy, the J, the ASSIEM, just him in the trenches podcast. Hey, listen.
This ain't in the trenches. Don't you close that.
Hey, you just.
Yeah, you don't do the benediction.
Hey, you just. I enjoyed myself. It was a good topic. Only thing I want to say is this. Like Baker and I've been saying, and even Chris, you said, pick a damn book up and read. Learn the rules to the game to know how to play the game. And if not, don't complain if you're a hamster on a hamster wheel, or are you the rat that's going through the maze and can't find the cheese because you're not reading the rules to the game. Don't complain.
That's something.
And stop being a coward. Be a woman and be a man. If you got hair up under your arms and between your legs, be a man and be a woman. And step up. Step up and be accountable. And stop being a coward. That's all I got to say.
He said what he said. So it's your boy C. Holmes, Chris Holmes, another great episode of Street Topics where we bring it raw. As you can tell, it was completely raw. I wasn't holding the brothers back. They can speak their mind. You don't like it? Bring your ass to the podcast and speak your mind. Don't stop being scared. Stop being scared. We try to be getting our guests on here, so this is a platform. So before I close out, this is a platform where we try to open it up so you can voice your opinion. So you over here complaining, hop on the platform. That's how we get things started, so we can start in discussion. But if you are going to be quiet or in the comments not even saying anything because you don't want to hit on a platform, shut the fuck up. This is an opportunity, and I'm giving it to you. But if you wanted to stay in the grasses and in the weeds and stuff, just stay there and just watch. Other than that, make sure you subscribe. We got so many great other topics coming on Street Topics because we keep it raw and real. So with all that said, y'all have a great day and peace.
Peace.
Peace.